Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's begin with our warm-up. So find a nice spot. Make sure you've got a good arm's width all the way around you if you can, for movement. For our warm-ups and our cardios that are going to come up later on, you want a nice chunk of space to move around. Make sure nothing to bump into or trip over. Dumbbells are put away, coffee tables out of the way, etc. Making sure that, if you've got rugs or carpets, nothing to trip over. Have some water handy, water bottle or something. So this is warm up. We're going to go for about 2 minutes. We got about a minute and 20 left. You can do what I'm doing or something else, whatever gets your body warmed up. We're just looking to grease up the joints, get some blood flow throughout the body, get the heart and the lungs pumping a little higher. Just barely breaking a sweat, nothing big. Nice and easy. If you've got, a treadmill or a rowing machine or some stairs to walk up and down, again, whatever works for you. And you might be going faster or slower than I am. Grab some music, something to get some good sounds for you. All right. Switching to a bicep curl and a knee curl. We've got about 30 seconds left. Again, pretty easy. We're not actively trying to get the heart rate or breathing elevated a lot. Get some oxygen to the muscles. About 12 seconds. A little bit of a march here with shoulder press. All right, nice job. We're going to start off with squats today. So working the quadriceps and the thighs, the glutes in the rear, hamstrings are having to help out a little bit. Core and torso muscles will have to keep you balanced and supportive. So what we're going to do here, feet about hip to shoulder width apart, toes maybe barely, flared out. We're going to take a seat and then stand back up, all right? Arching the back, keeping the head and chest forward, all right? Not this sort of stuff, but keeping it here this way. And then take a seat and then back up. You're gonna have to counterbalance yourself a little bit. If you need help with balance, you could always use a chair to hold on to, all right? We're really making sure that as you go down, those knees are not going forward, but you're breaking from the hips and sticking your butt out, keeping your weight on your heels. All right, let's begin here. A minute, and then 30-second break, and then another minute. Okay, so taking a seat, let's try this angle here, and back up. You may feel like you're losing your balance. Make sure that you know, if you step back, pick up that foot. If you need to hold on to the chair, do that. If you want resistance, you know, like a kettlebell or dumbbells, you can hold those at the same time. If you need more weight, there you go. You want to breathe the whole time. Don't hold your breath at all. How low you go is up to you. 15 seconds, then we take our break. How low you go is up to you. If you can get those thighs parallel to the floor, that'd be optimal. About as far as you'd want to get down. All right, take a break here. So remember, it's all up to you. The lower you go, the tougher it's going to be. The more resistance, you know, that your body will feel like it's having. If you're having knee issues or hip pain or anything like that, make sure they're shallow, maybe small squats. Holding on if you need to for balance and coordination, of course. All right, take a seat and back up. Again, everything faces forward and keep breathing the whole time. All right, ready for our second set. In position, let's go. And again, feet hip to shoulder width apart. Don't let those knees go forward past, you know, the ends of the shoelaces or the toes. If you are using a chair or something to hold on to, you know, remember it's just there for balance. It may move on you, it may tilt or tip. Using something like a kitchen counter, you know, where your kitchen sink is or something. Something a little more solid may help if you're doing this on your own. If you need a little bit of help with balance or even pulling yourself up. There you go, almost there. A couple more seconds. Then we move on to the next exercise. Keep breathing. All right. 30-second break, and then we'll hit the next exercise. Next one is we're going to do the shoulder blade squeeze. So getting your resistance tubing or your resistance band. Start with your palms facing down, okay? And you can grab kind of anywhere you want. The closer you grab together, the more resistance you're gonna get. If I'm out here, not too much resistance. So I'm gonna let the elbows bend about chest height with the hands. Elbows go backwards, squeeze the shoulder blades, and come back. Hands go towards the armpit. All right. Keep good posture, standing upright. Keep breathing. If I want, I can wrap a couple times. Secures it a little bit better, then I don't have to really grip it as much. Show you a different angle. Squeezing the shoulder blades together towards your spine. Got about 10 seconds. Keep breathing. All right, take a 30-second break here. You know, if things are bugging you as far as hanging down, you could always just grab and hold on to pieces too as you're doing this. Remember, the closer you grab in, the tougher it's going to be, the more resistance. Got about 13 seconds till we start up again. Shake it out a little bit. All right. This is a postural exercise. Working the posture. If you do a lot of stuff in front of you, working on a computer desk. All right, second set here, working in front of you, whether you're computing or you've got your phone and you're, cruising social media, whatever. A lot of those positions tighten the chest a little bit when we're kind of hunched over slightly. So to combat that, work the upper back muscles between the shoulder blades. We've got rhomboids doing a lot of work between the shoulder blades here. A little bit of middle trapezius, the rear deltoid in the back of the shoulder, a little bit of biceps in the upper arm, all kind of prime movers. And then core and torso having to, just support you, stabilize you. All right, 10 seconds. Then we'll be on to the next exercise after our 30-second break in between. Keep going. Again, we try to get for that whole minute. All right, nice job. Okay, next one up here. We've got the incline press-ups. All right, we are in the kitchen today, finding a place to do incline push-ups. Incline push-ups are a lot easier than regular push-ups because here at an angle, I'm putting a lot less weight on my hands, making it easier on my elbows, shoulders, wrists, chest muscles, what have you. If I'm more parallel to the floor, like on traditional push-ups on the floor, it's a lot tougher with a lot more weight on my hands and wrists. So if being on your knees or being on the floor is a little bit tough for you, find a place that you can do this at an incline where your upper body is higher than your lower body. Okay, stairs, if you've got solid furniture or railings, anything like that can work. Again, as long as it's solid and it's not going to move. Kitchen or bathroom counters work well. Something where your feet are out behind you. Again, you have to have enough room because when we stand back, we walk our feet back here. So that you have to have room behind you. So what you do is when you find the spot to place your hands, what you want is that spot to hit you right in the middle to bottom part of the chest. So here, for me, my feet are back far enough as far as I need. If I put them too far back, then I'm way over here. If I put them too close, then I'm hitting myself in the belly. So find just the right spot. Feet, shoulder width apart, whatever works for you. Hands just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. All right, let's begin. So allow yourself to fall down till you barely touch and then push out till your elbows are straight. Bracing your core so abdominals are tight. All right, tucking your hips in, squeezing the cheeks on your rump. You want to keep yourself as straight as you can from your shoulders down to your ankles. Your weight's going to shift onto your forefoot and toes and then back onto your full foot. And it's okay for the heels to come off the ground if you want. Otherwise, they can stay flat on the ground. If you have enough range of motion in your ankles and your calves, you'll feel a good calf stretch if you keep them flat. All right, 13 seconds. Nice and easy, slow and controlled. Try to get the full range of motion all the way down and then all the way straight. All right, take a break. Making sure that you've got good footwear and that your floors aren't slippery. Last thing you want is for your feet to slip out behind you. Or, if I've got slick counters, these are pretty slick, but I feel like my hands are pretty secure because it has a nice rounded bevel for this. A corner one, it's gonna be a little tougher. You might want a towel or something, or a yoga mat to hold on to. You don't want to slide, but it's got to be semi-comfortable for the hands, right? All right, so in position, let's do our second set. All right, so find just that spot. Yep. All right, let's begin. So again, hands a little wider than shoulders, making sure they're not going to slip out, of course. If you need to adjust your range of motion, if this is even too much for you still, going down halfway and then pushing back. All right, so adjust for whatever works for you, for your body. If you've got shoulder issues, keeping those elbows tucked in a little bit more towards the sides can help also, as opposed to, flaring those elbows out. You want those elbows tucked in a little bit more. And breathe, always breathing. Nice and tight with the core. You know, don't be afraid to adjust your feet if you find you're not in the right spot. Here we're working the pectorals and the chest, the fronts of the shoulders and the deltoids, and then the backs of the arms, the triceps. And then core has to stabilize. All right, that's all. Nice job. All right, so nice and easy, just like what we did with the warm-up. Same sort of thing. We're just gonna start off about the same speed and then build up a little more pace as we get into it. We got a transition of about 30 seconds. We got about 13 seconds left, so you can grab a sip of water, clean up your space, get ready, catch your breath, or jump right into it as soon as we get done with that last exercise. All right, we're officially on the clock for cardiovascular. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. Again, you can do what I'm doing or something else. Throw some music on. If you've got aerobic dance classes you've done before, or ballroom dancing, whatever, any kind of movements that work for you that you can do consistently in order to get your heart rate elevated. Nice and easy. Just doing a little bit of a toe tap and a cross punch across the body. And start speeding things up. Again, you can go faster or slower than I am. It all depends on what gets you working. Think about the talk test. If you can actively talk out loud and you're not out of breath, you can be understood, then you're probably okay. You're probably not working too hard. If you're so out of breath that you can't talk, then you're probably doing things a little too fast, a little too hard. You need to slow things down. Remember to maintain good posture. We are actively trying to get the heart rate elevated and the breathing elevated. We want to work ourselves. So whatever that means for you. You can jump rope, jumping jacks and calisthenics. Again, if you've got an elliptical trainer or machine that you want to get on, or an aerobic step you want to incorporate, it's up to you. Martial arts moves. Do a little bit of heel tap, the front punch. As long as it's consistent, that's what we're looking for. The intensity, that's all up to you. But again, use that talk test. That'll put you at around the 70% mark for your heart rate, 70% of your maximum heart rate. About 27 seconds. All right, so bicep curls and knee curls. Get these guys ready for later on here. Nice and easy. Okay, keep moving. All right, next exercise, we've got the bent over tricep kickback and hamstring curl. So grab some dumbbells. We use the smaller ones here today. So first of all, to get in the position for this, feet are about hip width apart. We're going to hinge forward from the waist. Bring our elbows back and tuck them to our sides, to our ribs. Elbows bent. Think about squeezing those shoulder blades together and holding this pose. Once you're in this pose, then we can straighten the elbows and let them bend. Straighten and let them bend. And you can do singles or doubles, it's up to you. So this is the tricep kickback, working the tricep muscle in the back of the upper arm. Nothing else moving but the elbow. Okay? And again, singles or doubles, doesn't matter. What we can do is we can add the hamstring curl in. So again, keeping that same pose. Now we're going to bend the knee, one knee at a time. I'm shifting weight from side to side. Again, just the elbow moving, not the shoulders, not the hips. Trying to keep in that same position for the tricep work. And then I'm just shifting weight side to side as I bend my knee, working the hamstring, the back of the thigh. You can put this together if you're feeling coordinated with it. Especially easier if you're doing the singles with the arm. If you're trying to do both arms at the same time, Sometimes you can get going a little too fast, get momentum involved. All right, take a break there. Get rid of your dumbbells and just kind of let your grip settle. So nice and easy, working the tricep with this. Low back having to stabilize and do a little work to hold you. Upper back having to hold that position too, because again, we want to isolate just elbows moving against gravity. So we need to be bent over a little bit. And we're just hinging forward. That back's not rounded. It's going to be nice and straight. Chest and head facing the same direction. All right, let's try it again. So in position. Bend those knees a little bit. Keep those elbows tucked in. And get the arms going. And let's bring those legs online here. And you can piece this out too if putting it all together is a little, more work than what you're looking for. With your coordination and balance especially, or you find you're not quite getting the form right, then just shift to doing either or, just the arms or just the legs. Again, consistent movement, but not too fast. I find myself having to actively slow down sometimes. Keep breathing. About 5 seconds. All right. Nice job. Nice one on those triceps there. All right, supine pelvic tilt with straight leg raise. So we'll need your mat next. This one is on your back on the ground. All right. So laying down. All right, so pelvic tilt first. What we're looking to do, let's get this mic set. Pelvic tilt, so slight curvature of that low spine. We want to rotate the pelvis forward, pushing your low back into the ground. Squishing the low back into the ground, flexing and bracing the abdominal muscles here. So hips are going to stay on the ground. This is all from the abdominals and the hips. And then I can relax. Rotate and hold, really pushing that spine into the ground, belly button to spine, tensing this up. All right. So now what we're going to do, give yourself a nice bit of room. So I'm going to straighten one leg, keep the other leg bent. I'm going to tilt, and now I'm going to, with the straight leg, raise it up and down. So toes are pointed up and down, not letting that leg roll out at all. And I'm just going to raise it to about the height of the other knee, keeping that pelvic tilt. Slow and controlled. There we go. Take a break there. I'll do the other side. I'll keep working. So remember, the biggest thing is holding the tilt. If you find that you're losing that tilt, especially when this leg gets down closer to the ground, if you find that that tilt's starting to pop up, then that's where you stop. You don't lower that leg all the way to the floor. So adjust your range of motion. Again, if you can't hold that tilt. And also how many times you do it. Maybe you do it one, time, and then you reset that tilt. Or maybe you're doing this 5 or 10 times per leg. If you can hold that tilt. We're just trying to make the pelvic tilt more difficult to hold. I'll take a break. And you can do either leg, just one leg at a time though. If you find you have incredible abdominals, you may be able to do both legs at the same time. As long as you can hold that tilt, that low back is flat against the ground the whole time. There you go. Keep going. Nice and controlled. The faster you go, momentum will start to try to lift that low back up when that leg gets down to the ground. So again, nice and controlled. We're working the hip flexor muscle in the thigh. In the hip. We're also getting the thigh muscles because you're straightening that knee and flexing that thigh muscle in the leg. All right, nice job. And then of course, abdominal muscles, low back, hip, everything having to stabilize. All right, nice job with that. Okay, so what do we have next? We've got bicep curl to shoulder press. So get ready your mat. You'll need your dumbbells for this one. All right. So standing up, good posture, dumbbell in each hand, nice firm grip, dry hands. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bicep curl first. So bending those elbows all the way up, and then nice and slow returning them to my sides. And I can let the forearms rotate in and out as I do this. Okay, so this is the bicep curl, bracing the abdominal muscles, nothing moving but elbows. Hips are steady, only elbows. So now shoulder press, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bicep curl, and then I'm going to move up to a shoulder press. So letting those forearms rotate to where they finish, palms facing forward, and then back down into the top bicep, and then back down straight with the elbows. And again, I can let these rotate in, or I can keep the palms straight. So up and up, down and down, up and up, down and down. Nice and controlled. Working the shoulders and the bicep muscle. Only thing moving, elbows and shoulders. Forearms. All right, take a break there. Nice job. You can set those dumbbells down if you want to. Get your grip to have a break there. So remember, palms are going to start forward. Again, you can let them rotate in if you want, or if you want to just let them straighten and still face forward, up to you. And then curl, rotate as you go all the way up, rotate as you come back down to the top, and then straighten those elbows for the bicep curl. All right, let's try it again. So in position, feet, give yourself a good stance, tighten those abdominals, bicep curl, shoulder press, back down and down. So up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. So remember, nice firm grip, dry hands. You don't want to dump these on your head accidentally. And slow and controlled so that we don't get any hip involved. We don't get any arms swinging. We don't want any kind of momentum. We want to isolate just what we're using. Keep breathing. Good posture. Head facing forward. 10 more seconds. One more here. All right, nice job, well done there. Okay, so get rid of your dumbbells. We've got a cardiovascular next. So you can start right away, or we've got about 25 seconds, 30 seconds here of transition. All right, go back to some of these guys to start. I'll start right up, but again, we got about 20 seconds before we, actually start the clock there. So nice and easy. Remember that talk test. Just consistent motion. All right, officially started. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Start us off with a narrow march. For easier march, you can just march with the heels. Leave the toes on the ground. Less impact, also less noisy if you got people under you. So it just kind of depends on what works for you. All right, I'm going to go to a wide march. So shoulder width or wider. Go for a nice wide stance. Just a small march here. And back narrow. Consistent motion. Just kind of pumping the arms along with this. And wide. And narrow. And wide. And narrow. Let's go back and forth here. Wide, narrow, wide, narrow, wide, narrow. Keep that up here. Keep your breathing. About 1 minute and 10 seconds. And back to narrow here. Keep moving. All right. Switch to side step here. Side tap. Lead with the pinkies. A nice big arm circle in reverse here. Lead with the pinkies. There you go. Keep going. All right, let's switch to an uppercut. So a punch up and across your body. All right, about 15 seconds. Back to a march. Some front punches here. Keep the pace up. All right. Nice job. Well done. Next one we have is bicep curl and heel raise. So you will need a couple dumbbells for this. All right. Keep your breathing. There you go. Our heart rate's up a little bit. Breathing's up a little bit. Yeah. That's what we want. Okay. So we got heel raises and bicep curls. So starting with the palms in, we're going to do a supination curl. So what we'll do is we're going to rotate and bend those elbows as far as you can, all the way bent, and then the reverse, all the way straight. And then I'll just rotate my wrists in and out just before I get to my hips and just after I leave my hips. But the only thing moving, elbows and forearms here. I got a nice firm grip, dry hands. Good posture, breathing. And then what you can do is add up on the toes. Side view here. Up on the toes. And if you want, heels and toes. So we're working the bicep muscles, front of the upper arm. Just isolating that. So I'm not swinging the arm at all. I'm not getting the hips involved. Just elbows and then ankles. Working the calf muscles and the shin muscles. And a little bit of balance, of course. Feet are about hip width apart. You decide, take a break here. You decide, whenever you throw the heel raise in and the toe raise in, when do you do your bicep curl with those movements? Yeah, whatever works. With your coordination and your balance. Give my grip a rest. Just put your dumbbells down. Shake everything out. All right, let's grab them again and get in position. Again, making sure you're breathing. What you can also do, let's start back up, is we can alternate. So one at a time. If you get a little tired, or maybe your balance is, off a little bit, or your coordination, then just one at a time can work good too. But again, keeping your balance, good coordination, breathing, good posture, not swinging the arms. 20 seconds. I'm going to go back to doubles here. Not swinging the arms, not swinging your hips at all. High as you can on those toes and heels comfortably. And breathing. All right, well done. Nice job here. Let's see. So, what do we got next? Seated washing machine. So, if you can grab your chair and a couple dumbbells again. I'm going to switch out to some smaller dumbbells than what I was just using. Doing a shoulder exercise now. All right, so here we're going to sit on the chair, but more on that first half of the chair. I don't want to sit, lean back against the back of the chair like I did with the knee extensions. This one, I want to be able to lean back and engage my abdominal muscles to do some work. Now, while I do that, I'm going to go around. Each arm is going to go around at the same time. Let's begin here. Washing machine, think of, 2 agitators in the water. And you can lean back just a little bit. Let your abdominals do some work while you do this. Hands will be, anywhere between belly and shoulder height, whatever is comfortable for you. Palms are going to face in. And you can go, counterclockwise or clockwise. Kind of find what patterns work for you, what's comfortable. How far you straighten and bend the elbows is up to you. You can do a smaller circle, be a little easier. Or if you're doing a bigger circle, maybe you're doing a big enough circle that the whole torso is having to move just a little bit as you do this too, okay? It's all up to you and how big or small you want this to be. Almost there. Shoulders are getting quite a workout on this one. All right, take a break. Yeah, deltoids for sure. In the front of the shoulder, getting quite a bit of workout. Arms, doing some work. Chest, abdominals having to support you, especially if you're doing a little bit of leaning back or any kind of rotation and movement with this. Head stays neutral, just looking wherever the chest does. Relax the shoulders, okay? We're not higher than the shoulders. We're going to be at best, shoulder height at the highest, okay? All right. Get that burning to subside in the shoulders. Nice firm grip, dry hands. And let's begin again. And breathing. Always breathing. Especially if you're leaning back and getting those abdominal muscles. If this is a little tough on the coordination, or maybe you don't have small enough weights that each hand can handle the weight, then getting rid of one weight and just switching over to just the, stir the pot. So doing this with one hand instead of 2 hands, okay? If 2 hands is not working well for you. You can also go backwards here. So just kind of, again, adjust the pattern depending on your coordination, Let's see, here we go. So each one is going in opposite direction. Couple seconds. All right, nice job. That, of course, makes things a lot tougher if each arm goes a different direction. Then you're really having to think why you do it too, along with all the work. All right, so great work on the shoulders there. Definitely tired from that one. What do we have next? We've got the sideways shuffle with a side reach. So one dumbbell again. Clear your space, getting the chair out of the way, mat out of the way. You want to be able to move a little bit on this guy. All right, so if you can, find a space where you can take 1 or 2 steps in either direction. What we'll do is we'll slide and slide, okay? And then I'll go back the other way. Slide, slide, slide. Now, if you're on carpet, make sure you're picking up that foot especially, as opposed to on a hardwood where maybe you can get away with sliding that outside foot a little bit. The last thing you want to do is, catch the outside of your foot and topple over. So really picking up that foot if you need to. And I've just got the knees slightly bent and I'm taking a big side step. As I do that, I'm rotating my torso toward the direction I'm going and reaching out with this dumbbell a little bit. How far you reach and how far you rotate is up to you and how big of a step you take, okay? You may only have room for, side to side. That's okay too. It's all up to you. If you have room, take more steps. 5 seconds. All right, take a break. So we're getting some abdominal work, some oblique work with the rotation. We're getting more shoulder work and arm work with holding that dumbbell in front and pushing out and away from the body. Outside of the thighs and hips are having to do some work pushing you. Plus we're in that slight athletic stance of bending those knees the whole time, okay? Make sure those knees are bent the whole time. How far is up to you? I mean, you could really get down if you wanted to, but really it's just a bend in the knees. We want to focus on the side to side, not so much how far you're bending and squatting down. All right, let's try it again here. Losing my microphone there. Oops, there we go. All right, well, we'll take care of that later. All right, so each direction. Again, just a little bit of bend in those knees. Focus on the side to side motion and the rotation of the torso, and add those arms in if you want a little bit more work. Just kind of pushing those hands out and away from the body. About 17 seconds. Okay, nice job there. Well done. Get rid of your dumbbell. We've got one more cardio here. Fix this mic, sorry. It's kind of stuck. All right, well, so that's what it's going to do right now. Okay, so cardio, again, you can get going right away, or you can wait. We got another 12 seconds transition. Make sure you're drinking water. I'll start up. A little bit of cross punch across. Same thing with the leg, heel tap across. Remember, just consistent movement is all we're looking for. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. This is our last cardio. So give it a good push. We're going to cool down and do some balancing after this. So one more chance to give a good spike to your heart rate, increase that metabolism. Bicep curls and a regular side step. Actually, let's switch it here. Side taps with biceps. There you go, looking good. Remember, whatever pace works for you to get that heart rate elevated, get your breathing elevated. I've moved, doing a little bit of a hammer curl here, so palms are facing in. All right, let's go out to the side here. Chicken wings. So regular side step, elbows are bent. I'm just raising them about parallel to the ground or so. Working that middle deltoid. Keep going here. All right, minute left here. Let's go back to some regular marching. Give yourself a little room here. You can take more or less steps than I'm taking. I'm going to go forward and backwards a little bit. So narrow march and backwards. Now I'm going to go wide and forward wide and then backward wide and forward wide. Again, watch your surroundings depending on your space, what's around you, what's to trip on, what's to bump into, especially when you're going backwards. And narrow forward and wide backwards. And narrow forward and wide backwards. Keep those arms pumping too. And one more forward and wide backwards. All right, back to a regular march here. Narrow. And let's slow that march up. You can even march with just the heels if you want. A little smaller with the hand movements. Nice and easy. All right, now we're just cooling down a little bit. We're going to integrate some cool down and balance exercises. Let's give a little bit just cool down here, another 20 seconds. Nice and easy. Great time to grab some water. Just, keep walking around while you're drinking water. Nice and gentle. Open and close with the hands. And again, I'm going slower now. And I'm doing that deliberately because I want my heart rate to start getting back down. I want my breathing to start getting back down. I don't want to stop totally and just go take a seat. I need to cool down. I need to get my blood pumping throughout the whole body, not just in the major muscles. Sometimes the blood will pool in the larger thigh muscles and not be up in the brain where it needs to be fully. And that can lead to dizziness, lightheadedness, possible fainting, falls, injuries, and so on. So that's why we cool down mostly. Below 100 beats per minute is kind of what we're looking for safety. Let's get a little balance in. So let's look at if you need to cool down more. If you're really pushing hard, you can always keep cooling down. You can pause this, of course, and cool down more and get back to the balance whenever it works for you. So let's pretend we got a tight rope about hip width apart. I'm going to walk that tight rope forward and backwards. Pretty easy, okay? Forward and backwards. I'm going to try not to look at my feet at all. Know how many steps you can take, before you hit things. Now let's say I've got a tight rope that's about as wide as both feet. Now I'm going to take some smaller steps, feet closer together. Gets a little tougher to do, right? And now backwards. Maybe you count your steps, you know how many you can take. Now we got a tight rope that's just as wide as 1 foot. Even tougher, okay? And then same thing with backwards. Now I'm going to go heel to toe, so it's even tougher. Just using by feel. If you're having issues with your feet and feeling, neuropathy, different things, nerve issues, this is going to be a lot tougher, and you're going to have to be more careful. Maybe you have one hand on the wall, kind of walking along with you if you need to, okay? Something we can do, make this a little tougher, would be if I have a dumbbell, I'm going to walk that tight rope with the dumbbell out to the side. Just one dumbbell. It's going to want to pull me, in different directions. I can switch hands. And again, making sure I'm, have enough room so I'm not whacking things. I can switch that dumbbell back and forth as I'm walking. And this is going to give me even more work. Just kind of back and forth. Closing one eye. If you're a visual person and use your eyes a lot, this is going to be even tougher. So just kind of playing around and seeing what works for you as far as balance. What makes this more difficult or easier for you. We'll do a little bit of stepping over sleeping dogs. So remember this. Think about if you have a dog, Chihuahua, something really small, and it's asleep on the ground. You don't want to wake them. So you're just going to step over. Nice and easy. Step over. Okay. And maybe you've got a larger dog, so you've got to make a bigger step. Okay. Depending on how large the dog is, that of course will increase the step size, making your balance even harder. Okay, so play around with that, with the size of the dog that works for you. You can also freeze at set points. So if I'm gonna step over a dog and dog's about to wake up, so now I gotta freeze and pause. Maybe I hold that a couple seconds or 5 seconds or 10 seconds. I step over and now I got to pause. Okay, so it's a little single leg balance after that step over. Nice and controlled, really working the balance. Step over, big step, and then pause. Again, how big of a step you take, how big of a dog you're pretending that you have, up to you. Again, good posture. Breathing. Let's try another one. Step over. Excellent. So we're getting some balance in, but we're also still moving. So it's part of the cool down. Getting our breathing back to normal. All right, nice job. Let's do one more here. Just a little bit of toe walking. So think about walking on your toes, okay? Heels are up in the air, just walking on your toes. Forward or backward or side to side. You can tick-tock side to side in one spot, especially if you don't have a space that's big enough to move around. Okay, now let's switch to heels, heel walking. So your toes are up in the air. Now we're working the shin muscles, also working the balance. Again, you can tick-tock back and forth or walk side to side, whatever works for you for balance wise. Okay. All right, nice job there. Okay, let's finish off with some stretches. So first stretch, stretching the back of the thigh, okay, behind the knee. I'm gonna squat down and hinge forward. Most of my weight's on this back leg. I'm just gonna keep my toe pointing forward and my leg is right in front of me. I'm gonna lean forward until I feel a stretch behind my thigh, behind my knee. Maybe a little bit in the calf muscle. This could be in the rump and in the low back a little. I can reach down as if I'm trying to grab my knee or my toe. Nice and gentle on the stretch. Good 20 or 30 second hold. Kind of what we're shooting for. Let's try the other leg. All right, just try to relax your thigh. Just trying to relax everything. Nice and gentle, no jerking, no bouncing. Real easy. Toe is pointed forward. You can bring that toe towards your nose and get a little more calf involved, or allow those toes to sink down to the ground more and take the calf out of it. All up to you. All right, let's try another stretch here. So middle and upper back. We're gonna pelvic tilt like we did when we were laying on our back doing those pelvic tilts. Hips thrust forward. Low back is gonna straighten out. I'm gonna squeeze the cheeks of my rear together. And then interlace my fingers, push my hands away from my body as far as I can. Straighten the elbows. I'm gonna round out my upper and middle back. Again, just try to stretch out the upper and middle back. And may stretch out the forearms a little bit. Straighten those elbows all the way. Keep breathing. Always want to breathe. And relax. All right, we got one more stretch here. Okay, last one. Stretching the upper chest area, fronts of the shoulders. We're gonna about 90 degrees in the armpit and the elbows here. We're gonna go back. Elbows are going back, forearms are going back. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, okay? Bringing my arms backwards behind me. Chest is expanded. I can lean back a little bit. Let's straighten those arms. Thumbs back and palms up. Really open wide as far as I can. Head is neutral. Chest is out, leaning back slightly. Hips can come forward. Nice deep breathing. And I'm going to bend those wrists backwards. I'm going to get my wrists and forearms and palms a little bit of a stretch, really wide with the fingers. All right. Excellent. All right, nice job with the workout today. Thanks for being here.